Hi there. So, yeah, back for a live, and I'm glad there is already some people coming. Hi, everyone. Okay, great. There is already some people. So, today we're gonna have a fun live. Long time I didn't make a live like that. It's not always easy. Well, of course, to make those live plus the rest of my work, but I think it's part of it in a way, and I would like to make a little bit more those live than I used to have done for the last months, because I used to make quite a lot of lives, and if you look at my Instagram videos, there is quite a lot for a few years ago, but yeah, it's true that for the few months there is not like that much, and if possible I will try to make a little bit more, and I'm thinking of maybe making the live on YouTube, just because Instagram is crazy difficult this year. Reaching people is not like super easy, and maybe YouTube would maybe allow some more freedom and more contact with people. It's true that I got a big community here, but maybe I can make another one in YouTube. I don't know. So my little plan was to show you a little bit how I do the first grind on a blade. I took this quite big petty, small gyuto. What is it? Those are blades that I'm making, yeah, for the fun of it. When I've got some time, it's 195. So it's a little gyuto. So yeah, if you have some question about my work, the lives are really done for that. I hope they can be useful for you if you are working on stones like me. I have worked on stones for 4 years now. I have learned a lot. I have found some information sometimes through other polishers, through websites, through YouTube, through internet, sometimes on books. But most of what I think is that it's not that easy to find information about it. And if I can help you and help giving you more information about how I deal with stone polishing and how I try to think about it in a complete way, meaning for me it's not just about polishing, but it's also about working the knife so it's efficient, so it can be easy maintained, so I can have a great geometry and have something which is even through the length of the blade, and so as the knife will wear with the time, with the use, it will wear as even as possible. And because I'm working also on stones, this will allow hopefully some precision, because you're working just much more slowly. Just a thing about my setup, about my video setup. I tried to find a way. I got a little software with 2 phones. So actually, this is a camera that I got here, a phone that show me the video, so I can see what you're saying and if you have any comments. But it will stop at some point and I need to restart it. Well, it's not that great, but we're gonna make it, and I'm sure we're gonna have a little time together, fun. Okay, so yeah, please, any question, give it to me. So this live is not just about me talking, but we can share a bit. Oh, I didn't put the mic actually. I got this normally. That should go somewhere. I even don't know. Something like that. I hope it will work actually. Right? No, you have a big mic in the middle now. Okay, maybe even the voice is better. I don't know. I hope for you it's good. Okay, so yeah, let's start the live, and let's start this small knife, 20 centimeter length, and let's see how I would deal with the knife. Great if it's a little bit better. And sorry, now the phone is here, and so I need to not look at it, but look at here. All right, but I will find my way. Okay, so first I have worked the knife with the belts, and this, okay, and this is about 80 grit on the belt. And the idea, well, actually I've done first the big wheel. I got a huge wheel grinding like this, and the wheel is like that. It's 80 centimeters, it's a big wheel. And for this I'm making a quite a concave grind, but the idea is not really to think about the precision or the final grind. It's more about really grinding the material I need and make something clear and clean around the shinogi, because most of the time one of the difficulty of making a nice grind would be to have this clear and neat shinogi. So the concave stone, the concave whetstone, which is running fast in the water, help to sort of make a first grind and make it clear between the bevel and the kurushi, and make this shinogi line as clean as possible. Then I use the backstand, and the backstand is used, actually it's a large belt I use, and it's going this way, and I'm using it actually as much as I can as a stone, and it will be used a little bit in diagonal, and I will do part after part, I think quite different way than other maker would use the belt. I try to use it as much as I can as a stone, and this will give this bevel, which is 80 grit, but which is not clean at all. So we need to do something. Is there anything? Yes. The video will be registered, and I will put it on YouTube too. So even if you stop here, you can watch it later. So for example, it's gonna stop now the thing. Okay, I'm back. Well, and this will be done every 10 minutes, so sorry for that, but we're gonna make it. Okay, so let me show you the stone I would use to start the grind. And those days I would use, those stones. So this one is NSK, where is it? NSK Overo 200. Is it possible to have a focus on that? Yes. And this one is Venev 80 plus 150, and I'm using most of the time the 80 grit, the rough part. Both will work great, and I know some people would like to have some information about that. I'm thinking of making like a clean YouTube video about it, so I can speak about all the stones I have selected and found for my work. Like this one is HK knife work stone. It's vitrified 400 grit stone. It's not actual brand. It's someone making those stones, actually asking a factory to make those stones. I can speak a little bit about it too, and we can use it too a little bit. Okay, so what stone I would pick if I were me? I would use maybe the Overo to make the general work, to make a first clean work after the belt and grinding fast all those big scratches. But I would use maybe the Venev after that, so I can really shape my bevel precisely, because it's much harder stone, and give that crisp shinogi I like. So and why not we can use this one, because this one is 400 grit, but this HK knife work, it's the name of the Instagram account, so you can find it. This stone is vitrified, it's 400 grit stone, but it's somewhat faster, I think, than this Overo 200 on hot steel. Those vitrified stones, they are mainly made for sharpening, not really for polishing, and actually I don't use it too much for polishing, and reason is it's cutting a little bit too deep. So it's super fast, but then you need to clean it, and it's well, it's a bit too much work from my testing. So I would prefer to grind with the Overo 200. But what can be done when you get the knife, first of course you check everything is in place and straight and everything, and for that you will need to look this way, and also this way and this way, and then you can of course look this way. I don't know if you see me, but I got the edge in front of me. I need to have normally a clean white surface in front of me. So normally I do that in another room, so I got a place where it's clean and white, and I can check if the blade is not twisted. And this will be very important for the rest of the work, because if you start to work on the blade which is a little bit bent and a little bit warped, you will have very much trouble to make it clean, and you will have surprises that you don't really understand. So yeah, straighten your blade, of course. Okay, let's go on. So what I would do is actually maybe doing the edge with these stones when I'm getting to my stones. So just a very low angle, but touching the very edge of the bevel, and I will work like this lengthwise, and this will allow me to see where there is too much, where there is not enough. If the edge profile, okay, this way, is it perfectly one curve, one flat spot at the beginning and then a curve? Is there any hollow in it? And if there is any hollow, I should get rid of it as soon as possible. So let's work like this. And I've chosen the right side, but there is no much issue to use right or left. And already I can see troubles, and the work we will have to do is to clean and to make it better. So let me show you if I can. All right, so look at the very edge. I don't know if you can see that. So my main concern is that it's very touching here and here, here and here, but it's kind of low here. And this means there is a low spot about here. This part is a little bit thicker and this is perfectly alright, but this part is a little bit thicker and this is not alright. I will need to grind this part to make this blade even. I think maybe you've seen that in my other lives video. I have talked about it maybe before, but honestly it was quite a long time ago, so maybe I should start again from the beginning. The idea of shaping the bevel is at the end that the stone is able to touch the bevel in any direction you want. This is not just for the mind to be peaceful, it's also that because the stone can touch the bevel in every direction, it means the bevel is shaped in a certain convexity. Actually, we try to make it not too convex for the kitchen knives, but we will make a sort of convexity in every direction, so lengthwise and height-wise, something like that, this direction, perpendicular. And this is the way so the bevel got enough material everywhere to be strong and to cut well as needed, and also it will again wear in the time evenly and not without weird stuff that would, like a hollow thing, a low spot that would make the bevel and the knife wear a little bit too fast on one area and not on the other ones. All right, so I will need to grind a little bit more here. I can put my finger on it and a little bit concentrate on this, and I can see that this low spot is not only on the edge, it's really on the whole knife. Let me find an angle. Là, okay. I think you can see it. Let me try to find a way to control this light. Okay, it's a little bit softer, so you should see a little bit more. Okay, so there is a low spot. I think you can see it right here, and this need to be right here, sorry, and this need to be dealt so we can clean the whole knife. And so because I generally prefer to have as much as possible material at the heel, reason is that first for the cutting, but also for the polishing idea. If I want to make a nice surface and to make this little slight convexity from heel to tip, I need a little bit of material at the heel. So I can have the bevel in a good shape. Okay. No question for about the stone polishing yet? Okay. Let's do the other way, the other side, just to see if we have about the same or very different. So again, I'm working at the very edge of the knife, just to see where it's touching, where it's not touching. And I can see there is trouble again. There is some low spot and some higher spot. Okay. But the edge is touching. The edge is touching all around. So I'm gonna take the Overo and I'm gonna work with it. Someone asked me how was the Overo finally, because my first impression was they wear quite fast. The 200 wear, but it's true that I have used it quite a lot, and I have used it quite roughly with the sick powder on it to make it rougher and grind a little bit faster. But for example, the 400, I have used them quite a lot too, and honestly they don't move too much. I try to not flatten them as much as possible. I try to work all the area, and actually this setup, so you can see that I have put this a little bit up, actually helped me to work more here and not on all over the stone. So I can work here and then I can work here, moving the stone like this, and in the end I'm not touching too much the center of the stone, which is always a problem because it's always the center of the stone which is which is wearing a little bit all the time. So again, I think I've told you that maybe before, but when you use a stone, because it's gonna always be hollow in the middle, reason is that it's how you say that in English? You say that in English, it's a carrefour, it's a crossover, crossroad. The center of the stone is crossroads, so every time you will sharpen, actually even if you want to touch only here, well, actually going up here, you will always go in the middle a little bit and then up here. So in the end, it's a crossroad, you will always touch the center. So if possible, don't go there in purpose. Always try to work around. Okay, so let's do one way, just from heel to tip, to see a little bit how the bevel is very cropped or not. So I'm working diagonal, but I'm working slightly longitudinal, like a little bit longitudinal, a little bit diagonal, not too much diagonal. 60 degrees maybe. Okay, and this will show me a lot of things. So I can see obviously my low spot. It's not too deep, so I think it will be alright. Okay, you can see that. Yeah, it's here. And then I can continue grinding, but then so I will grind after this low spot. So my low spot is here, okay, here, and I'm gonna grind here. So I can go down and reach this spot without grinding too much the heel. Okay, let's go. So if you want to work the Overo stone without grinding it too much, but still give it some cutting speed, strength, those stones, actually every Overo, and I would say maybe even the Venev is this way, you need to not push too hard, you need to make a little bit of low pressure, not, well, normal to low and not normal to heavy pressure. And this will allow the stone to make this slurry, and as you can see, I'm not making too much big gesture, I'm working with small strokes, and I'm building actually a slurry, and this slurry will cut like hell, and that's what I need. I don't need more. So that's the way I'm working the NSK and the Venev these days, is really working the angles of the stones and building slurry so it cuts very well without conditioning. Okay, so the shape of the bevel is very nice from here to here. I just need to kill that low spot. So I'm gonna go closer to it, maybe grind a little bit the heel. If you have questions, I'm still here. Okay, and the heel looks like a little bit overgrind, a little bit. So what is overgrind heel? When you make your knife, you need to find a way to create those angles from heel to tip, and those angles are changing. So heel, and you go to the tip with a narrower angle, and it's very important at the heel not to grind too much, again, to leave material, and also not to make an angle which would be a little bit too narrow. Working a too narrow angle at the heel, you will then put your shinogi higher, and if you want to solve this issue, you will have to grind and push the shinogi higher everywhere, because the way I want my bevel to be and to be the shape of it, I need a little bit stronger angle. I need a little bit material on the heel, so I can then have this slight convexity and full contact of the stone with all the bevel. It's a question of geometry. This kind of concept is question of geometry. If you don't have enough material at the heel, you will have a low spot here just because of this twist problem, this twist issue. And you can solve a little bit this issue by keeping a little bit more material here. Just enough so it touches. Okay, let's work this heel. So I'm a little bit more perpendicular, so I can have a different scratch pattern and another view. I can see that I'm reaching the shinogi here, but then I got a different angle on the just after the heel. Okay, I can continue. Okay, and now the stone is touching. Tell me if you see anything. I try to make a setup so you can see a little bit more, but let me find an angle. Okay, this is not the right one. Here, around here. I think you can see this this triangle. Okay, from here to here and stopping here. And this is a good shape, but then I need to find a way to find my second angle, which will be the next one, and it can't be just too. It just can't be too different. The heel is here, and then I got a second angle which need to be slightly different, but not very different. You can't make a big difference of angle too quickly. Okay. So let's work a little bit this area. And actually I can see that it would like to be quite different. And if this second angle needs to be a little bit different, I got two solutions. Or I make it a little bit more bigger angle, I push toward the edge, or I will need to get to the first angle and push it toward the shinogi. I don't want that really much, so I'm more pushing a little bit through the edge at this second part of the bevel. Yes, and for now it's working. As soon as I got enough material, I can do that. And then if I'm pushing too much to the edge and the edge gets too thin and I start to have some burr, I will need to find maybe another strategy. Okay. So, how is your summer now? In France, it's quite hot, and there is mosquitoes, and well, these are quite terrible. Even during the day they bite. Don't like them that much. Okay, so I can still see a little bit my low spot right here, and it's not too big. It's gonna be okay, but I need to work around not going on it. So as you can see, I'm working mostly diagonal for this first work. The idea is to be stable. I think diagonal is the most stable position to grind, actually. It took me quite a while to understand it, but yes, diagonal is very, very stable. So it's very interesting way to use the stone and to polish. And I guess that's why most people will use diagonal to polish the knives. Perpendicular, I use it, but I will use it a little bit later to make a nice smooth convexity from about half of the bevel to the edge. And lengthwise, of course, I use it because it's the last position and way I polish the knife. So I need to work this, I need to work lengthwise even with the coarse stone, so I can be sure with the final stone I will be spot on with my geometry. Okay, let's work a little bit more here. Actually, this knife is not like super well shaped from the belt. I've done some better job before. There is this low spot which should not be there, but it's there. We're gonna deal with it. Okay, and I don't know if you've seen my position, but I have evolved on it. It's maybe not for everyone, but I'm using really the knife this way, and I got my thumb like here, index, and all the knife, all the fingers around. So yes, this right hand is really holding and strongly the knife, and this is only to put a little bit of pressure and guide, but actually it's my right hand which is doing most of the position work. Okay, so I'm gonna grind at the edge around here. So with this position I can easily choose to grind toward the edge or not. And this will allow me to erase that low spot. I still got something actually at the edge here. I don't know if you hear that, but the Overo stone really in a way stop cutting when you reach the hard steel. Most of the stone will, even, I mean, if you take traditional whetstone, they will do the same. It's true that when you use those diamond stud, we would like to hope for them to cut even on the hard steel. They will, but just 10 times slower. So that's also why I'm doing sanmai. The way I'm working with the stones, it really call for sanmai. When I'm doing onyaki, I'm going 2-3 times slower on the stones. Okay, still got that quite bad thing just here on the edge. Okay, don't know if you see that. A little low spot and actually a little low edge profile, and because, as I said, the Overo is not that super fast like that, I will use this vitrified HK knife work. You can find his website. I guess there is FSK also and Triple B, but yeah, those ones work for me. So yeah, I'm gonna grind after the low spot right here. And I'm going quite strong on it because on the hot steel you make less error, less mistakes than on the iron, where you can grind a little bit too fast. So I'm creating a burr after this low spot, but it's necessary. So I can really erase it. As I'm grinding the other side, I'm, as you can see, compensating and okay, so I was working here to erase the low spots, and it's almost there, but because I'm doing so, I'm grinding a little bit more this side, so I always compensate a little bit sometimes the other side, like here. So I'm not grinding material only on one side and this could push my core steel and make it not perfectly centered. So I'm always keeping those ideas also in mind. Okay, well, it's almost done. Yes. And I'm gonna work again with the Overo. And when I want to flatten a little bit the Overo, I can take the Venev and it's so hard, that stone, it's perfect for flattening. Perfect. The flattening from NSK, this one, it's not hard enough. It should be harder enough if NSK hear me. So I'm working a little bit more lengthwise, so I can see a little bit more this low spot I didn't erase yet. And for erasing it, I need to continue grinding before, grinding after. Okay. So I'm grinding just in front of it. And from time to time, just changing the side of the stone so I can work evenly on it. This low spot is close to Shinogi. Okay, this one, I think you can see. When you have an issue close to the Shinogi, actually, it's very problematic. It would be much easier and a good news if it was close to the edge. When you have a low spot close to the Shinogi, that would mean you need to raise a little bit your Shinogi a bit everywhere around, so at the end you can finally touch this place. So I'm keeping my work around, grinding in front of it. Okay, I'm close to have killed it. So as you can see, I'm going back and forth, doing sometimes more diagonal and sometimes more lengthwise. I'm mostly grinding with the diagonal gesture, but I can check a little bit, doing a little bit more, going a little bit more lengthwise. Okay. Okay, I still got a little bit. Okay, nice. Not much question, eh? Well, maybe you're not used to me doing lives anymore, so you don't have any more questions. Or maybe you know a little bit more about the stones and you don't have questions. I'm really happy to explain a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna switch a little bit to the Venev and you're gonna see quite a different stone and a different way of working. Let me show you the bevel if possible. So slowly but nicely it's getting better, and my low spot is right here, okay, just under the shinobi. So I still got something, I need to solve that. Okay. So yeah, the Venev is a different stone. I prefer the results, even if it's normally coarser. Okay, back. It's more precise and I got an even better view of what I'm doing. But it needs conditioning compared to the NSK, which needs almost, if you work with the slurry, you don't need any conditioning to make it cut. This one, you need to work a little bit on thick powder to make it cut. Okay. Yeah, closer, closer. Not yet, though. I'm gonna resurface the stone. Let me show you how I do. So I use 46 grit. Well, this is actually 80 grit. This is 40 grit. And I use this very rough stone. It's thick powder stone. And normally it should already cut a little bit better. Just be careful with the contamination. Normally I'm doing this somewhere else, so I don't have 46 grit in my sink. So rub the stone well and your hands well and your knife. Okay, and this should cut a little bit better. All right. Okay, close to it. So I'm working a little bit more in the lengthwise direction, and I'm gonna just do the tip now. It's all finished, I think, for this side. Okay. So the Venev is actually cutting a little bit slower than the NSK, but it tends to be more precise, so I use it after it. I like this way. Okay, this is good. And now I just want to have a nice heel, so I'm working here. So it's just good contact. Okay, and we are good for this side. So I'm gonna finish with lengthwise scratches, just to see if everything is alright. When you use a very coarse stone lengthwise, be super careful, because you can pass your shinogi and just fuck it. So be very careful, go slowly. Okay. No much question this session, eh? You leave me alone. Is there anything you've learned for now? Did I help you on anything? Maybe? Okay. All right, not too bad. So here is how it looks now. I'm making work. Okay, so here is how it looks, and it's quite nice. It would need a little bit more work, I would say. Yeah, well, I just wanted to show you that, maybe the first tone. I can show you a little bit more with one next tone, and this would be the 400. And just to show you, I have done the knife lengthwise right now with the Venev, and if I would be working on the next tone, which would be 400 NSK Overo for this one, I would work first perpendicular, so I can work the edge with the 400, and I can see if I'm thin enough, if I got a nice convexity, if I got good contact and good good shape. And this will also blend a little bit the edge surface and the rest of the bevel, which is generally made in two ways, because I'm sort of doing a facet along the edge and sort of doing a facet along the shinogi. So I've done all perpendicular, and I can see there is a spot which is not like touching perfectly here. It was grind a little bit too much when I've done the erasing the low spot, so I can just grind a little bit like that to even out a little bit and see how it goes. Maybe work a little bit like that, lengthwise the other way. Okay. This is just to profile the edge and to make it nice and not having too much low spot. I got a high spot here, and I got a high spot here, and I got a low spot, well, not a low spot, a flatter spot here. And this could be a little bit tuned up to make it a little bit more smooth. Just like that. Yes, and it's already better. So I can go back to my perpendicular. Okay. So I would work perpendicular toward the edge like this, and then I would work diagonal, close to be perpendicular but diagonal along the shinogi. And see if I got a good contact and not too much low spot. Okay, here it's good. At the heel I'm missing a little bit of material actually, so I need to maybe give a little bit more convexity toward the edge like that, and grind a little bit toward the edge in front of it, so I can have a good shape at the heel. Okay, I can still work a little bit to make it better. Okay, and then I'm just starting to refine and see if there is any more problem I can solve, if I can make my shinogi a little bit more crisp. At 400 grit, it's really the last stone you can use to make the geometry right. Then you will only polish. And I got a little bit of too much grind on the heel, but not too bad. And I got a shinogi which is not absolutely perfect just before the tip. So I need to grind and reach that shinogi. But it's not too bad. Okay. And when I have done the whole bevel with the perpendicular on the edge and slightly diagonal on the close to the shinogi, I will finish working lengthwise. So I will work first the edge, and this I need to check if everything looks like the way I want, and then I will work the shinogi part, and I will work lengthwise again. And normally, if the shape is good, I need to go one way, meaning just like one way from heel to tip, and the 400 should touch properly. Honestly, it's not too bad, but I got some issue and I would like to work a little bit more maybe with the Venev to solve them maybe. I got a little bit of not enough contact at the heel. It's not far, but the shape is not like perfectly perfect. Alright, and once I've done that with the lengthwise, I would use the next stone 800 and do a little bit similar, perpendicular, then lengthwise, perpendicular, then lengthwise, mostly for every stones. And once I reach the 3K, 5K, I will go only longitudinal. Okay, that's done for the live. No much question. I would like, if possible, to have a little bit more interaction, if possible. Maybe it's not the right hour. Maybe 6 p.m. French hour is not the greatest moment for you. So maybe type in comment if I can improve a little bit those session, if I give good advice, or if I should explain some part of my work a little bit more precisely. Yeah, and here is the bevel. Not too bad, not perfect. I would say it's not an easy blade to work. It's quite thin, and the thinnest, the hardest is to work. And I got this little lower shinogi, as you can see here, and this means it's just a little bit lower surface than the rest of the bevel. Yeah, a little bit less material from the forge blade, and it would need to be okay. Yeah, so that's all for today. Hope you enjoy a little bit the live, and hope you learn a little bit more about how I shape my knife and how I deal with the blow spot and how I deal with the shape of the bevel. Yeah, and hope it's a little bit more clear for you. If you have question, again, you can type it in comment, and for me, I will work again tomorrow, but then I will take 2 weeks off. Needed, fully needed. I'm a little bit tired, but that's okay, and I will have 2 weeks of rest and should be back on track for beginning of September. Have a great evening all, and yeah, goodbye, see you.